Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with the next session in the Alpha Wolf lecture series on applied psychological engineering. And in today's lecture, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the beginning stages or designing the blueprint for the conscious mind. So, what we're doing is we're designing the foundation of the synaptic pathways and sort of designing the foundation of our conscious mind or our conscious state of being. And what we're doing is we're utilizing our conscious mind to influence our unconscious mind, using our unconscious mind to influence our biochemical states, and using our biochemical states to influence our heart frequency. And then basically also setting psychological triggers that take us out of our conscious identity of self or our ego and align us or elevate us into our higher consciousness. So, a really important thing as we begin to understand is that the ego is the individual self identity. The higher consciousness is the aspect of consciousness that exists outside of self identity. So my ego is Justin, my higher consciousness is this conscious form. Do you sort of get it? Like what I see as being inherently me is not my higher consciousness. Do you sort of get it? Because my higher consciousness is a state within consciousness that exists simultaneously within me and external to me. So, what we understand about this is that my higher consciousness is the aspect of conscious awareness that is my entire identity of self. So, not my conscious identity of self, but my entire identity of self, my conscious mind, my unconscious mind, my body, and my heart frequency. So, when we're understanding this, the higher consciousness is the aspect of consciousness that I can enter into to alter or observe any state of conscious experience within me or even unconscious experience. So it is through the higher consciousness that I'm able to feel the biochemical responses. Do you sort of get it? I can feel the biochemical responses from my ego that something makes me angry and now I'm feeling frustrated and anger and all of this and I'm feeling high stress and all of this. But I can't really explain it. Do you sort of get it? But when I'm in the higher consciousness, I am not seeing or feeling my biochemical responses through the lens of my ego. I am seeing it through the lens of both my ego and unconscious mind. Do you sort of get it? So it's really important that we start to understand this because if we think about it like this, okay, we have the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, the body and the heart, and then the higher consciousness. When I'm in the conscious mind, I can't really see the unconscious mind. I can't really see the heart or the body. Do you sort of get it? Because my focus is going through this conscious lens of what my conscious sort of ego or identity of self thinks of it. So, like, for example, if someone did something that upset me, if I'm in my ego, they have done something to me. If I am in my higher consciousness, I am observing their behavior without bias of feeling a personal connection or attachment to that behavior. So if someone does something that makes me angry, like if I'm in my higher consciousness, this behavior makes me angry. This behavior I don't like. Do you sort of get it? It's not that you're making me angry, it's that this type of behavior is not in alignment with what I desire. Do you sort of get it? So it's not that your behavior is affecting me, it's that I'm identifying a pattern in behavior that I dislike or do not like. Do you sort of get it? And it's not that it emotionally affects me, it's that I don't like being altered or drawn into specific emotions. So, like, for example, if you do something that is designed to anger me or frustrate me. And I do not like being angry or frustrated. Well, when I'm in my ego, you are triggering an emotional response that I cannot control. But when I am in my higher consciousness, I am observing the emotion being drawn out and realizing this is not the emotional state that I want. Like, do you sort of get it? So if I want to be happy and loving and all of this, and you're trying to draw me into anger, frustration, hatred, whatever it is, do you sort of get it? If I'm in the ego, you are trying to personally affect me. If I am in the higher consciousness, you are trying to alter my emotional state. Do you sort of get it? There is a detachment. Like, it is not that you are attacking me or you are doing something to me. You are taking an action that is trying to elicit a response out of me. Do you sort of get it? There's separation between my emotions and my identity of self or my ego because I am not in either of those. So I'm observing them from a separated state of being that is outside of my ego and emotional response. Do you sort of get it? So, like, we just start to realize that, like, what we are trying to do is we are trying to understand the four different dimensions of self, the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, the body or the heart, and the higher consciousness. And just understanding the difference between them and the utilization of them. Like, do you sort of get it? I can use my heart frequency or my feelings within my heart to alter my biochemical state. I can use my heart frequency to alter my emotional state. Like, do you sort of get it? The heart is separated. Even though the heart is responsive to the biochemical states, the heart is also separated from that. Do you sort of get it? So when we're understanding this, we're not saying that biochemical responses, i.e., heightened cortisol, is not going to increase my heart rate. Do you sort of get it? But increases in cortisol and stress hormones don't have to alter the frequency of my heart to go from a frequency of love into a frequency of fear, into a frequency of stress, into a frequency of panic. There is separation between that. If I identify and focus on my heart, I am able to separate or detach my heart from the biochemical responses that are altering my heart. Do you sort of get it? So, when we're understanding this, we have the higher consciousness, which is the conscious frequency of creation. And then we have the heart, that is the electromagnetic frequency. Do you sort of get it? And they're two different ends of the spectrum. And then in between that is the conscious mind, unconscious mind, and the biochemical responses or biochemical states. Do you sort of get it? So from either end, I can change or alter my internal state of being because my internal state of being is not my conscious frequency or my heart frequency. My internal state of being is the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the biochemical responses. Do you sort of get it? And then the heart and the higher consciousness are simply the two different operators of this physical being. So my conscious or higher consciousness or conscious frequency exists in the non-physical aspect or dimension of the universal of reality, and my heart is linked into the physical. So these are two different anchors that allow me to hold different hands in different states of the universe, one in the non-physical and one in the physical. Do you sort of get it? So it's really important that we start to understand this, because what we're understanding is that I'm not trying to alter or design my higher consciousness. I'm not trying to alter or design my heart frequency. I'm I'm really focusing in on my conscious thoughts, or my conscious mind, which is my psychological structures and hierarchies of meaning. I'm focusing in on my unconscious mind, which is my memory association and my emotional states. And then I'm identifying my or focusing in on my biochemical responses. Now, the way of, or the pathways of direction or travel is that my biochemical responses or states within my body can alter my thoughts. So if I'm highly stressed, I can alter my conscious perception or my conscious mind's ability to think. Do you sort of get it? I can alter my unconscious mind's ability to associate memories or to associate emotional states. Do you sort of get it? Within my unconscious mind, I can alter my biochemical states or my biochemical responses, or I can alter my psychological structures or my hierarchies of meaning. Do you sort of get it? So it's not that I'm trying to focus in on my heart. My heart and my higher consciousness, and my heart frequency and my conscious frequency are the overriding frequencies. Do you sort of get it? I can alter my biochemical state by focusing in and identifying my heart and my heart frequency, and using that broadcast internally to alter the biochemical states. I can use it to alter my emotional states or my memory. Do you sort of get it? Because I can alter the meaning of the frequency in my heart, or I can alter the frequency of my heart in association to my emotional states, in the association to my biochemical states. So, like, a good little practice for this is to think about it like this. If I am in a high stress situation or state to where I have high amounts of cortisol, I can use breath work to slow down my heart rate, and then I can redefine the meaning of that. That high cortisol, high stress does not mean I have to become rapid or stressed within my responses. My heartbeat doesn't have to change. I can be in the highest state of psychological and emotional stress within myself and biochemical stress, but I can artificially, like, control or separate my heart from those states of being. Do you sort of get it? So if we think about this, if something happens, like, let's say something emotionally happens that upsets me, someone cheats on me, someone breaks up with me, someone does something negative to me, like, that emotional state within my mind, that conscious, the hierarchies of meaning and the psychological structures of what they've done, like, they can be running rampant, but I can be an inner peace in my heart. Do you sort of get it? So, like, the way we understand this is that my heart is not sort of responsive to my biochemical states. My heart is responsive to my associated meaning of that. Do you sort of get it? So if every time my cortisol level spikes and I allow my heart to then become frantic, my heart then associates cortisol with higher beats, or the a heightened stress state within my heart's beating, where my heart's beating faster. But if I train my body to, when my cortisol levels spike, through association and I sit there and I breathe and I stay calm, what happens is my heart now associates the heightened cortisol with the practice of calming. Do you sort of get it? So what we understand is that when we're trying to separate the higher consciousness or the heart from the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, or the biochemical states, what we are doing is we are associating it. So it's through associational conditioning or behavioral association conditioning. Do you sort of get it? These are three different ways. So association conditioning is associated environmental stimuli that condition a response. If every time it's cold, I shiver, I will always shiver whenever it becomes cold. Do you sort of get it? Like, if it's a biological response, if it's not a biological response, I will create a psychological response that cold means shivering. Just to the same, if every time I'm in a high stress, high heat environment, I allow myself to feel relaxed and cool and easy, I am able to alter my sort of internal state of being. Do you sort of get it? I'm using the environment to associate new meaning to the outcomes or responses that I feel. So it's really important. We're not trying to do this, like I said, for cold and hot. Those are just really easy examples. But what we are trying to understand is that if my conscious mind or my ego gets drawn into negative or, you know, competition, into a transactional mindset where I have this belief that there has to be, for example, transactions, where I have this belief that everything's negative around me, where I have this belief that my life's just negative, or whatever it may be. Like, I can alter that behavior or that response within my conscious mind through existing or experiencing the environment and then creating new associational bonds through that environment. Do you sort of get it? So when we start to understand this, if you think of the proverb or the sort of saying or quote of warriors, it's like, I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I would rather be someone who is exposed and conditioned to high stress situations, and I'm able to exist in non-high stress situations, rather than being someone who is not conditioned to high stress situations that has to exist in high stress situations. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if you think of that proverb or quote, what we're understanding is we're understanding the environment and then the internal state of being. Do I want to be someone who is used to high stress or chaotic environments that's able to become peaceful in a peaceful environment? Or do I want to be someone who is sort of unable to deal with chaotic situations that now is in a chaotic environment? Do you sort of get it? So if you think about this, like, you can think about it in terms of stoic or stoicism, where it's like, I stand at the precipice of walking into the greatest storm that I've ever faced, and it's like there's no emotion. There's no separation between the sun, the blue sunny sky behind me and this storm ahead of me. Do you sort of get it? I'm altering my internal state of being to cease recognizing the environmental changes. Do you sort of get it? Where I am basing my internal state of being based on an internal alignment or an internal state that I desire to be in, or, opposed to me basing my internal state of being on the environment. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if you understand this, when we're talking about behavioral conditioning, when we're talking about like association conditioning or behavioral association conditioning, what we are talking about is behavior is the internal state of being, association is the external state of being. Do you sort of get it? Behavioral association conditioning is the internal state of being, determining or redefining the external environment. Do you sort of get it? Really important to understand this because what I'm talking about is like, like how can you become, for example, like disassociated from like if life is falling down, if everything's going bad, how are you staying like rock solid? Do you sort of get it? So like let's say you work in sales and your numbers are down and the pressure's on and your boss is about to fire you and we keep adding on to all these stresses. You know what I mean? Your wife just left you, your husband just left you, your kids are failing in school and getting into drugs, whatever it is. Do you sort of get it? Like all these different either internal states or triggers for stress or external environments of stress. Do you sort of get it? So, like, we're disassociating one from the environment and two from the internal state of being. And then what we are doing is we are designing the state of being, the internal state of being we want. And then we are redefining the meaning of the external environment. Do you sort of get it? To where what used to cause me stress no longer affects me. Do you get it? Like what used to cause me to feel stress no longer causes me to feel stress. And the way we do that is through environmental sort of association. So when we're talking about associational conditioning or environmental associational conditioning, like when we take that idea of the storm and marching or walking through the storm, the first couple of steps, it's something new. Do you sort of get it? But at a certain point in time, a certain amount of steps into the storm, the current step is no different to the last step. The next step is no different to this step. Do you sort of get it? It all just becomes one. And I become at peace with it. Do you sort of get it? And literally, like I've done this. So when I was walking across country, I had five major storm cells that I had to walk through, like full on fucking cyclones. Do you sort of get it where it's torrential rain day in, day out? Do you sort of get it? And there's no way around it. So you just start walking and you walk into the rain and you keep walking through the rain. And at a certain point in time, the rain might be cold when you first step into it, but at a certain point in time, your internal state, internal temperature, or your internal state within you of your temperature will alter itself or will amplify itself to counteract the cold. Do you sort of get it? So at a certain point in time, you just stop noticing the difference between the storm and the sun. But there are many different things we can do to alter our internal state of being as we walk through the storm. So, like, we can use psychological triggers. So, like, one psychological trigger I used, if I was walking through the rain, at least it's not hot. Like, do you get it? It could be 45 degrees. I could be sweating. Do you sort of get it walking through the baking sun? If it's sunny out and it's 45 degrees, at least it's not raining. Do you sort of get it? And I'm putting that comparison to saying that it could be different. Do you sort of get it? So, like, at least it's not this. So rather than me focusing all my attention and intention on the rain, I'm saying, well, at least it's not 45 degrees. Do you get it? Like it's really important to understand these psychological triggers because they take your perception out of the current environmental stimuli and they give you a comparison to compare this stimuli to the next one. Do you sort of get it? I tear my calf muscles. At least I didn't break a leg. Like, do you sort of get it? I break a leg. At least I didn't tear my calf muscles. Like, do you sort of get it? We're just using these psychological triggers to trigger comparisons to where it could be worse. Do you sort of get it? And now, as I go through the environment, I am becoming sort of conditioned to the environment, and the environment is becoming comfortable. The longer I stay in the environment, the more comfortable the environment gets. Do you sort of get it? This is sort of association conditioning. Like, do you get it? The longer I am in the experience, the more sort of conditioned I become to the experience, the less the experience is a sort of volatile or variable. Do you sort of get it? The less or the more baseline it becomes. So if you're thinking about this in terms of high stress situations, the more like, for example, if let's say we're in a car crash. Okay. No one's hurt or anything like that, but it's a very severe crash that shakes you up emotionally and is considered to be highly traumatic. What we're trying to do is we're sitting there in that environment of trauma and heightened stress and all of that, and we're just slowly bringing ourselves back down to that baseline. And the longer we sit in those environments and the longer we sort of condition ourselves to returning to the baseline or the base level, the more that that environment will trigger that response through behavioral association conditioning. Do you get it? By me sitting in a high stress, high traumatic situation and changing through behavioral conditioning or my internal state of being, I'm teaching myself how to do that behavior, but I'm also associating that behavioral response to the environmental stimuli. Do you sort of get it? So, like we understand conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the biochemical responses or the biochemical states. So, in this, what we're looking at is how do I build a foundation or framework or blueprint for my conscious internal identity of self to being able to alter my unconscious emotional state and my biochemical states. Do you sort of get it? So like there are a few really good little trigger tricks you can use. One of them is, for example, you can't be happy when you're serious. So to be joyful or happy, you need an element of ridiculousness. Because in seriousness, you're in a completely different psychological state of being. Do you sort of get it? But once something ridiculous happens, it takes you completely out of that state of being. Do you get it? So consciously, I can alter my conscious state of being or my psychological structure within my conscious mind to having triggers that allow me to alter that state of mind. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, for me, like if I start getting too angry, once I notice myself get angry and I feel the anger coming up, like I have triggers like that basically tell me, like either in behavior, so I have behavioral triggers. As soon as you do something that makes me want to yell at you and attack you, Like I'll just get up and walk away. Like I'll shut down, get up, walk away. I might say something to you, but like I'm going to alter my behavior rather than allow the natural behavior pattern to take over. Do you sort of get it? So what we're understanding is that your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your biochemical states have already been conditioned your entire life unconsciously without your conscious intention or conscious awareness. Do you sort of get it? So what we're talking about in this is we're going through and we're building the foundation of our new conscious state of being. Do you sort of get it? I used to get pulled into arguments and fights very easily. Like, do you sort of get it? I had to re-engineer my mind so that if you try to draw me into an argument or a fight, I just simply shut down. I don't respond. Do you sort of get it? Like, if I allow the unconscious sort of conditioned behavioral response, well, if you argue with me, I'm going to argue with you back because I want to win. Like, do you sort of get it? So just like understand this, that you'll have unconscious conditioned responses that have been conditioned into you since you were born. Do you sort of get it? How did you learn to walk? Behavioral conditioning. Do you sort of get it? How did you learn what is safe and what is not safe? Associational conditioning. You identify this environment's safe, this environment's not safe. Do you sort of get it? Some people have phobias of sharks and big fears of sharks because when they were young or when they were growing up and developing, they had an interaction or there was a shark in the environment that altered their internal state of being or their internal feeling of safety. Do you sort of get it? It's like if you think about it, some people are afraid of dogs because they've been bitten by dogs. Other people have been bitten by dogs and they're not afraid of dogs. Do you sort of get it? Like, it's not to say that the trauma was any different from person to person, but it was the association that they created to the environment and the trauma within that environment. The ones who feel afraid of dogs created a belief of not feeling safe within an environment where a dog is present. So even if that dog isn't violent, isn't aggressive, isn't this or that, they will not feel safe in the environment around the dog. Do you get it? Because their belief structure says dogs are not safe. Just like if you have a fear of or a phobia of spiders. Like I used to have a phobia of spiders. And that phobia of spiders meant if there was a spider in the room, like I could not go to sleep. Like, how am I ever going to go to sleep if there's a bloody spider in the room? Do you sort of get it? Like, I have to keep my eyes on it because if I turn the lights off, where'd that spider go? Like, do you sort of get it? So, like, if I identified a spider, I would no longer feel safe in that environment, and it would start to create a biochemical response of heightened stress to where I'd literally start sweating, and I'd really start to panic. Do you sort of get it? To where I'd get heart palpitations. And like, what I want to say is like, when it comes to arachnophobia, I used to freeze. So if I saw a spider, I would freeze until the fear response was overcome. Do you sort of get it? Like the only way I overcome that fear response was by being in environments where spiders were and sort of forcing myself to retrain the behavior. So by sitting there and observing them. So, like, for example, if you had a fear of dogs, you sit in an environment where dogs are and you observe them. Doesn't mean you have to pat them, but you just sit there and you allow them to do what they're doing and you watch their behavior. And you'll start to notice, like I noticed with spiders, that even though it feels like spiders are going to come for you and run on you and bite you and all this, like they're not really. They're just doing their own thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, not saying huntsmen's don't come for you. Those bastards are terrifying, but do you sort of get it? Like, you have to sit in the environment and recondition your association to that environment or your internal belief structure within that environment. Do you sort of get it? So how we do that is if we are consciously doing, well, I had to re-engineer all of my belief structures, my conscious belief structures. So like, for example, I'll tell you why I had a fear of like arachnophobia. Because when I was a child, spiders ran up my pants. When I was a child, spiders ran down my shirts, always huntsmen. Spiders were in my bed and would run up my legs when I got under the doona. Like, I had so many instances where spiders would run on me because of me putting myself in situations where they were. But do you sort of get it? Like, my belief structure consciously was that if I see a spider, it's going to try and run on me. Do you sort of get it? So, like, what I have to do to overcome that fear or to re-engineer that belief structure is I need to, one, create new psychological structures and hierarchies of meaning. So I need to create new psychological structures for spiders and meanings for their behavior. Do you get it? So, like, when I was afraid of, when I had arachnophobia, my psychological structure was spiders will run on me. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, spiders want to bite me. Spiders will attack me. Spiders are dangerous. Spiders are scary. Do you sort of get it? So, spiders is the psychological structure, the hierarchy of meaning is will run on me. Do you get it? So I'm reassociating, for example, the difference between a daddy longlegs and a huntsman. Do you sort of get it? And I'm redefining the hierarchy of meaning for a huntsman. So, like, for example, huntsmen, they like to run around. Daddy longlegs usually chill up in a web. Do you sort of get it? So, like, we're observing them in the environment and then we are redefining the meaning of their behavior or the hierarchy of meaning behind their actions. Do you sort of get it? Like, this translates to everything. Like, for example, people are afraid of other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, people like, if you take, for example, like someone who is racist has a fear of others' cultures, is insecure about other cultures and their own culture. Do you sort of get it? So it's not by sort of, so to speak, education, but it's through becoming comfortable in association with them. So, like, for example, a lot of people who are racist grew up in racist environments where they were segregated from the other cultures, and it's sort of that environment has conditioned them to have a fear response to that culture. And then basically, if they meet someone, like, let's say they're racist and they're racist against black people, and they meet someone who's black and they get along with them and they're really nice and all of that. And the longer they spend with them, the more it alters that internal belief structure to where they're getting first-hand experience that goes and counteracts all of those hierarchies of meaning that had been conditioned into them. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of them might be like, like, what is it for in America with African Americans, that they're dirty, that they're this, that they're that. Like, do you sort of get it? That people are chaotic. Like, there's all these different hierarchies of meaning that people are associating to a cultural group or an ethnic group. Do you sort of get it? And then they're creating separation from that ethnic group, and that is where the fear comes from. Do you sort of get it? The unpredictable nature of different cultures, the unpredictable nature of others. Do you sort of get it? Or it could be like, for example, in Australia, there was the Bondi shooting, which now a lot of people are going to be in high fear against Islamic belief structures, or, people who from Islam. Do you sort of get it? Because they're associating that highly traumatic hierarchy of meaning of that behavior to all within that belief structure. Do you sort of get it? So people don't separate between an ISIS terrorist and a Muslim. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, they're just saying that all Muslims are ISIS terrorists. And now all Muslims are based within that behavioral structure of the act. Do you sort of get it? So, like, it's really important that we start to understand this because, like, when we're trying to remove any of these negative aspects and trying to design our conscious mind, like, what do I want my conscious mind to be? Do you sort of get it? Do I want my conscious mind to be trapped within this belief structure that I can't change? Do I want my conscious mind to be stuck in unconscious behavioral patterns and a reactive state to information? Do you sort of get it? Like, do I want my conscious mind to be structured and organized to what I want it to be? Like, does this make sense? So we're understanding that in the conscious mind, okay, what we have is we have the psychological structures. Oh, ah, we have the psychological structures, okay? Let's find them again. So what we're understanding is like, what is a psychological structure? Do you sort of get it? A psychological structure is a descriptive term. So, like a computer, do you know what I mean? A wall, white, black, green, blue. Do you sort of get it? Like a psychological structure is a way in which I describe something that exists within my experienced reality. And a hierarchy of meaning would be, a wooden wall. It separates between a metal wall and a sort of concrete wall and a wooden wall. Do you sort of get it? It adds a layer of meaning behind the wall. So it's not just a wall, it's a wooden wall. It's not just a wall, it's a concrete wall. It's not just a wall, it's a steel wall. Do you sort of get it? Or it might be a high wall, a low wall. Do you get it? So, like a hierarchy of a meaning is a way in which I am now saying or stating what that is. So, the wall is the psychological structure, and the hierarchy of meaning is a high wall, a wooden wall, a concrete wall, a low wall. Do you know what I mean? So, what we understand is that when I am building or designing the blueprint of my conscious mind, I am taking psychological structures and then I am creating the hierarchies of meaning that I want to have with them. And if you think about it in terms of sort of development and neuroscience, a psychological structure and a hierarchy of meaning are just a synaptic pathway. Do you sort of get it? So, like wall, that's one synaptic pathway. And then there's all of these alternate or variations of that synaptic pathway. A wooden wall, a concrete wall. Do you sort of get it? My mind is still in that exact same pathway. There's just branches going out to all the different hierarchies of meaning. Do you sort of get it? The wall falling, the wall breaking, a broken wall. Do you sort of get it? Wall is the psychological structure for the synaptic pathway. And then it branches out into all of the different variations that wall can have. Do you sort of get it? So, like, there's a difference between a wall and a fence. They're two different psychological structures. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, there's a difference between a pot and a pan. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, our psychological structures are ways we separate different things, and then it could be a black pot and a silver pan. And they're just two different hierarchies of meaning. One means silver, one means black. Do you sort of get it? Like there are ways in which we then can add additional information to the psychological structure that adds or elevates the meaning of it. Like, what is the meaning of black? If I said, can you grab me the black pan? What is the meaning of black pan? Do you know what I mean? So, like when we're understanding the psychological structures and the hierarchies of meaning, we just have to understand these are really, really useful ways in which we are able to communicate and able to interact with others. Our brains have developed this way so that we're able to hold a conversation to where I can say to you, can you grab me the black pot and the silver spoon? And you are able to say black pot means this, silver spoon means this. Do you sort of get it? Like you're able to then go and look into your environment and say, there is the black pot, there is the silver spoon. Do you sort of get it? So, like, we're understanding that our psychological structures and our hierarchies of meaning are the way in which we are able to identify visually things and then communicate them verbally. Do you sort of get it? Or we're able to identify something in the environment and communicate that to another. Or we're able to identify something in the environment and determine its value to us or its meaning to us. Do you sort of get it? If I see a bear in the zoo and I see a bear in the wilderness, there are two different meanings to that bear. Do you sort of get it? A bear in the zoo is safe as long as I'm not in the enclosure. A bear in the environment is not safe. Do you sort of get it? Like I could be at risk. So it's really important that we understand this because while I'm creating and designing my conscious mind, I am just understanding what my conscious mind is my ability to see and describe things. Do you sort of get it? To interact, to communicate, to reason, to understand that a bear 1 kilometer away and a bear 50 meters away hold two completely different meanings. Do you know what I mean? Me seeing a shark in a boat, or me being in a boat and seeing a shark, or me being in the water and seeing a shark. They hold two completely different meanings. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that like I'm less safe because I'm in the water. Like who knows? The shark could hit the boat and I could fall in the water and get eaten anyway. Do you know what I mean? But my psychological structure or my conscious mind associates me being in the boat seeing the shark as being safer than me being in the water seeing the shark. Do you sort of get it? And this hierarchy of meaning, or this meaning that is associated to the psychological structure, will instigate or tell my unconscious mind what emotional state to feel. So like if I'm in the boat and I see the shark, I might feel a certain level of fear because it's a shark. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm in the water, like I might feel unreasonable fear. Do you know what I mean? So it's really important that we understand this because like my emotional state will be determined by the meaning I have associated to the psychological structure. Do you sort of get it? So if the meaning I give to the psychological structure is one of safety, then I am not going to feel, so to speak, a fear response. But should the hierarchy of meaning to the psychological structure be one of danger, now I am going to find it very, very hard to not have a fear response or an emotional response of fear to the environment. Do you sort of get it? And when we're talking about behavioral conditioning, association conditioning, and behavioral association conditioning, what we are talking about is taking that psychological structure and hierarchy of meaning to, even if the hierarchy of meaning means fear, I am altering my emotional state within the environment over duration or time so that that meaning of fear doesn't cause a fear response. So, like, an easy way to think about this would be like if you had a soldier, or like, let's say we're soldiers, and you go over to war. The first day you go into that country, or you're in sort of combat, you're going to be like, it's a new experience. You're going to be at heightened states of fear. You don't know the difference between like the safety of, if you hear artillery coming in, if you hear rockets coming in, whatever, you don't know if it's going to kill you or not. But if you've been there 6 months and you've had thousands of interactions with artillery coming in and with rockets coming in, well, you can literally hear where they're going to impact based on the sound. Like, do you sort of get it? You've allocated hierarchy of meaning to, this sound means it's going to hit close. This sound means it's going to hit far away. This sound means safety. This sound means danger. Do you sort of get it? So, like, one way is like, for example, when you're getting shot at, when you hear the snap, like it's directly firing at you. Do you know what I mean? When you hear the whizzes, it's firing off around you. So that's an easy way for you to say that, oh, this is a highly dangerous psychological structure, this sound. It means high danger because someone's shooting directly at me, to this sound means low danger because they're just shooting in my general vicinity. Do you sort of get it? So it's really important because when we're understanding this, if I'm getting someone shooting at me directly, well, I'm going to have a different emotional response to if someone's shooting indirectly at me and I'm in no danger. Do you sort of get it? Like, it's really important to understand this because what we're trying to understand is how the conscious mind, or the hierarchy, psychological structures and hierarchies of meaning, alter and affect our memory, association, and emotional states, but also how they affect our biochemical responses. So, like, for example, if I'm walking along in the forest and I look up and see a bear 50 meters away from me, do you sort of get it? Like, the biochemical response is pretty much instantaneously. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, it can be a conscious one, but basically I look up, I observe the bear, identify that it's a high danger situation, and immediately I am feeling the adrenaline response. Now, the way it works is that the conscious mind can directly influence the biochemical states. So my conscious thoughts can alter the way I feel within my body physically, my physical feelings and sensations, but also the conscious mind triggers the unconscious mind through memory, association, and emotional states. And those emotional states and memory association alter and change the biochemical response. Do you sort of get it? So, like, when we're trying to understand this, if I look up and see a bear, like, it's not that I'm bypassing my unconscious mind. My unconscious mind fires like so much faster, like 3 to 4 times faster than my conscious mind. Like, do you sort of get it? So I am unaware that I've seen the bear. I've identified that there's a hierarchy of meaning of danger or imminent danger. My memory association has been bypassed. My emotional state is one of fear, instant fear response, which alters my biochemical state. Do you sort of get it? Or I could be sitting here and I could say to myself, I love you. And I could say to myself, I've said I love you to myself. The meaning of that is the emotion of love. So now I'm going to instigate and I'm going to consciously focus on memories of love, on the emotional states or feelings of love, and then I'm going to try and alter my biochemical state. Do you sort of get it? Or I can alter my biochemical state through the conscious word love. Do you sort of get it? It's really important to understand this and to start to understand this, that my conscious mind, my unconscious mind, and my biochemical state are all the same thing. Do you sort of get it? Like, while there's separation between my conscious and my unconscious mind, like they are still the same mind. Do you sort of get it? Like, I can't just take out my unconscious mind and then live only in my conscious mind. I'd die. Do you sort of get it? So, like, our biochemical responses are triggered from our brain, and it can be through our conscious, like our conscious mind, or it can be through our unconscious mind. Do you sort of get it? So, like, I can consciously sit there and think about something and create the meaning that something is bad, and I can alter my biochemical state to being one of high cortisol or a stress response. Do you sort of get it? Without it being emotional. Or I can think about something and it can trigger an emotional response, which triggers the biochemical response. Do you sort of get it? Or maybe a biochemical response that I'm feeling. So I'm feeling anxious or agitated. So, like, an easy one for this is if you were thinking about childhood trauma, and, like, let's say, like, for example, like with me and arachnophobia, like, I have very conscious memories of that sort of those instances, but sometimes it can be unconscious to where something's happened and I haven't thought that it was that big of an impact, but it actually was. So, like, for example, a really easy one is like in my life, people have always treated me like who I was not good enough, was not right, and that I had to be someone else to belong to the tribe or to belong to the group. Do you sort of get it? So what that did is that created, even though I didn't take much notice of it, even though it didn't really hold any meaning, do you sort of get it? It altered my biochemical response to where I felt stress. Do you know what I mean? To where I felt, my biochemical response, if someone spoke in a certain way, I wouldn't consciously know why it was upsetting or affecting me or causing stress or fear, but it would. Do you sort of get it? Because unconsciously, I had created that belief. Like, do you sort of get it? So, like, I can consciously know, like, what is causing the fear response, or unconsciously, like, the fear response can just happen. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for example, if I was walking along and I saw a spider, as soon as I saw that spider, I would have a biochemical response of fight or flight. Like, do you sort of get it? Fight, flight, or freeze. Spiders made me freeze until it overcame, and then I would fight. Do you sort of get it? So it's like I like one time I was about to walk up the stairs, and right at eye level there was a massive huntsman. It caused me to freeze, and then 5 minutes later, my body or the biochemical response had calmed down to where I could move around. And then I walked over, grabbed a shoe, and smashed that spider as many times as hard as I could. Do you sort of get it? And then I was fine. Like, do you sort of get it? So it's like what we're understanding is that, like, our biochemical responses can override our conscious awareness or our conscious mind, our conscious identity of self. Do you sort of get it? To where it's just like I can't think, I can't make any decisions, I can't create any logic or anything like that. I'm just in fight or flight. I'm just frozen staring at it. Do you sort of get it? And then as my body becomes accustomed to that biochemical state, it's able to then take over. Do you sort of get it? So, like, just understand that what we're talking about is it can be consciously triggered and biochemical responses. They can be unconsciously triggered. If they're unconsciously triggered, you will just like be in the state. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, I can be sad today and I can just feel sad and, and down in the dumps and feel blue today. And that can come from my unconscious mind. Do you sort of get it? Or I could wake up today and I could see some news, and then that news causes me to be sad. Do you sort of get it? Or I can be out in the environment and environmental stimuli causes an unconscious response. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if we're thinking about this, like your biochemical responses cannot be triggered outside of your brain. Has to be conscious or unconscious. But when we're understanding psychological engineering, I can alter the meaning of the biochemical response to then alter the meaning of the emotional state and the conscious reason for that biochemical response. So, like, for example, biochemically, excitement and anxiety are the exact same biochemical state. Do you sort of get it? So, if I choose to say this feels like anxiety, I am going to create the psychological structure and hierarchy of meaning that this biochemical state means anxiety. And then I'll have the emotional response of anxiety, of feeling the stress or feeling the fear or feeling, you know, upset or whatever it may be. Do you sort of get it? Or that biochemical response of anxiety, I can then alter it and say that it is excitement. And then the excitement holds different psychological structures and holds different sort of hierarchies of meaning, which are associated to different emotional responses. But biochemically, nothing has changed. Do you sort of get it? So, like, we're not trying to say cortisol is the same as, serotonin. Do you sort of get it? Like, we're not trying to say that stress is the same as joy. I'm redefining the meaning of the situation or experience that I am feeling. And then I am saying I am not stressed, I am excited. Or I'm saying I'm not stressed, I'm joyful. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, like when I was walking through the storms, I was drenched wet, soaking wet, head to toe, been walking in the rain for 2 hours, and the sun came out. Within 5, 10 minutes, I was completely dry. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, I can sit there and act like it's all bad and all of this, and I'm upset and I'm down, or I can just not even worry about it. Like, do you sort of get it? There were times that I tore my calf muscles and had to continue walking 20, 30 Ks. Do you sort of get it? Like, I'm altering the meaning of the pain response to being enjoyable. Do you sort of get it? Or I am ignoring the pain response altogether. Like, that's what I did. Do you sort of get it? I tore both my calf muscles, or I had severe cramps within them because of the way my muscles were positioned when I was walking down with weight, this really steep incline or this steep hill decline. So, like, what happened was is that after they tore, like, oh, not so much tore, but after they severely cramped up, what causes cramps? Do you sort of get it? Like what causes cramps? Dehydration, lack of salt and things like that. You know what I mean? Um, awkward muscle positioning under and outside of stress. So when I step down because I'm carrying weight, do you know what I mean? If my muscle is out of position when it tenses wrong, and then it can cause cramping, tears, and all of this. Do you sort of get it? But once I identify that, like it hurt to continue walking, but what was I going to do? Was I going to sit on the side of the road until they felt better? No. You just keep walking. And at a certain point in time, the pain goes away. Do you sort of get it? But rather than me sit there and focus and identify on how painful each step was, I told myself how pleasurable each step was until my mind could not separate the difference between pain and pleasure. Do you sort of get it? But then I can also not even recognize it and just completely ignore it. Do you sort of get it? And then it just completely fades away. So just understand this. It's really important when we're understanding the biochemical responses in our conscious mind is that I can amplify the biochemical response or I can sort of remove the biochemical response. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if I amplify the biochemical response, if I was consciously focused on how painful my calves were when they cramped up, if I consciously focused on how negative it was, how much it sucked that this had happened to me and all of this, and then I create a negative emotional response, I'm amplifying that pain because all of my focus is now on that pain. But if I alter my conscious focus to this is just something that happened, it's not really that big of a deal. And then I focus my conscious mind on external environmental stimuli over the internal state of being, my mind doesn't have the ability to focus on it. Do you sort of get it? So it's really important, like when you're understanding this that what we're doing when I'm talking about engineering the blueprint of your conscious mind, okay, what are the psychological triggers that I can use to override my emotional state and my biochemical state? Do you sort of get it? If I'm in a high state or a high stress situation or environment that is causing me to feel a fear response or feel a stress response, like I can override that. Do you sort of get it? To where when I feel the stress response, what do I have to be stressed about? Do you know what I mean? This isn't as important as it is. So, like for example, like I used to be really bad at public speaking. And the reason for this is because I'm dyslexic. So, like you'll notice with this, I've got the information up, but I do not read it. I can't read and talk at the same time. My brain doesn't work like that. Like I'll demonstrate it to you. In understanding psychological structures within psychological engineering, it's important to remember a simple trick of association to separation between what is a psychological structure and what is, do you sort of get it? Like, I find it really difficult because I have to read the word and then I have to say it. Like I can't read and speak at the same time. Do you sort of get it? So the reason I was faster on the front, or the first bit, was because I'd been reading it while I'd been talking. Do you sort of get it? But then once I get outside of what had memorized, I am unable to talk. Do you get it? Because I have to read, process, and then speak. Do you get it? So what with public speaking, that used to be really hard for me because if I was trying to repeat information, unless I had that information memorized, I couldn't read it off of a piece of paper. I couldn't use, those cards. Like I couldn't use reading cards. I couldn't use um, like lecture slides. It's why I don't use Like why I don't do lectures with lecture slides. Do you sort of get it? Like I have to know everything that I'm talking about up here. I can't read and talk. So if I had lecture slides, it would be the exact same. That I would have them up there, but I would already have to know everything. Do you get it? So what this did is this used to cause me to have very high stress response to public speaking. So I used to go up at university in front of classes and I would shake. Do you sort of get it? Because like it was a highly stressful situation for me and I didn't understand why. Like why did I get that way? And then I realized I couldn't read and speak at the same time. That's why I always got flustered. Like, do you get it? Because like it was too complex for my brain. That reading and speaking at the same time is sort of like, how you rub your tummy and you do you think? Like my brain don't work like that. I can't play drums. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever my right hand does, my left hand does. I can't separate them. I find it really hard to do alternating motions. Like, do you sort of get it? So it's really important when we're understanding this that if I don't understand the hierarchies of meaning and the psychological structure, I'll just say I have a fear of public speaking. But I don't have a fear of public speaking. I'm unable to read and speak at the same time. So if I'm trying to force myself to read and speak at the same time while public speaking, I'm never going to be able to publicly speak. Like, do you sort of get it? So, like, if I'm understanding what is causing the sort of issues that I'm having. So, like, for example, when I used to do presentations at university, I used to get really, really anxious and nervous. Like, I used to sweat. I used to shake. My voice used to, like, go up and down, up and down. My voice used to shake. Do you sort of get it? And the reason for this was because I was applying so much psychological pressure to myself and not understanding why I was feeling the way I was feeling. So I was thinking that I'm nervous or that I'm not good at public speaking or that, you know, I'm awkward or maybe I can't read, I can't speak. Do you sort of get it? Like there's all these different things. And when I wasn't aware of it, my biochemical response was getting hijacked by my emotional state and my memory association. That every time I got up there, I just remembered it was flooded with memories of all the times, I made a fool of myself. And the funny thing is like many of my teachers thought I didn't put in any effort to the presentations that I would give. Like it was so funny. They thought I would never, like I never even, like I'd just put it together that morning and just sort of come up with, nothing. Do you sort of get it? But the thing is that, like for me, my brain would freeze when I was trying to speak and read at the same time. Do you know what I mean? I can read fine and I can speak fine, but if I try to do them together, my brain wires get crossed. Do you sort of get it? So it's really important to understand that because to overcome public speaking, well, I had to understand that, hey, I can't read and speak at the same time. So if I'm sitting there trying to read something out to you, like I first have to read it a few times and then I speak it. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if I don't understand that process, it's really, really stressful that every time I have to publicly speak, it's a stress response that I'm getting heightened cortisol, that I'm shaking, that I'm nervous, that I'm anxious, that I'm sweating, that my voice is cracking, that I get flustered, I start getting panic attacks to where I can't breathe. Yeah, it used to be pretty funny. I used to not be able to breathe while I spoke. Do you sort of get it? Because I get that nervous that I'd forget to breathe and then I'd be, do you know what I mean? So like what we're understanding is that when we're creating or building our psychological structure or our conscious mind, I am understanding logically what the meaning of my emotional states, my memory association, and my biochemical states are. Do you sort of get it? And now I am realigning. So, like, for example, once I realized I couldn't read and speak, well, I just realized that I had to become a master at the topic. So I had to read 10 times as much as I was going to speak. And if I read 10 times more than I was going to speak, like it was effortless to speak. Do you sort of get it? It's why this is so easy for me, is because like hundreds of thousands of hours I've spent on this sort of information and understanding. Do you sort of get it? So it's not that I am speaking from this page, I'm simply speaking from a cache of memory. Do you sort of get it? And I use trigger points or psychological triggers on the page, i.e., headings, to identify um what I'm speaking about. Do you sort of get it? Like it's really important. Like once I understood that, for example, I can't read and speak at the same time, well, then I can understand that psychological structures, okay, that means this. And then I can go through to hierarchies of meaning. That means this. Do you sort of get it? I can set up a conscious way or a conscious format to overcoming what causes emotional and biochemical states. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, I don't fear public speaking anymore. It doesn't bother me. It's the exact same as having a conversation with someone else. Like, do you sort of get it? Because nothing changes. How I speak to an individual in a conversation and how I present is the exact same. Like, do you sort of get it? Rather than me trying to present like a presenter, I simply just speak like a speaker. Do you sort of get it? Like, once you understand your psychological structures and hierarchies of meaning and your conscious mind, you are able to then create and bypass things that cause insecurity, things that cause emotional, like negative emotional states, that cause negative biochemical states. Do you sort of get it? It's why I don't read and speak at the same time. Like, do you sort of get it? Because if I simply just avoid it, and instead of me reading and speaking at the same time, I simply just understand it or read it prior to and then speak on it. Like, do you sort of get it? Like that emotional state, that memory association, that biochemical state is no longer triggered. Do you sort of get it? So we're just reconditioning in new ways of being, new ways of overcoming these things. So, like, when I'm thinking about my conscious mind, okay, anything that causes me to be triggered into a negative emotional state, okay, or that triggers a negative biochemical state, I'm just simply trying to figure out the conscious triggers that are triggering it. Do you sort of get it? And then I am removing those so that those states are no longer triggered. Do you sort of get it? And that's through behavioral conditioning and associational conditioning and behavioral association conditioning. The first time I tried to know something and then speak on it, I was still getting those emotional states of fear, of nervousness. Do you sort of get it? I was still getting flooded with those memories. The biochemical state was still being triggered into a stress response. But I did it a couple of times, or I did it again and again and again. And through that new memory association of all the new times that I've done it, and through the new emotional states or the new emotions that I'm in, or emotional states that I'm in while I'm speaking of it, I am now reconditioning my mind. Do you sort of get it? I'm reconditioning my emotional states. And when my emotions are happy and calm, the biochemical state is not going to be triggered as much. Do you sort of get it? Because for the biochemical state to be triggered by itself usually requires a very high fear response that bypasses the conscious and unconscious mind. I.e., if it's life or death situation, like I'm walking along and I look up and there's a bear 50 meters, like I don't need to do too much thinking. Just turn around and run. Do you sort of get it? Not saying that's the right way to deal with bears, to run from them, but my body already has an instinctive way to do it, and it will just trigger the behavioral response before I'm even conscious about it. Do you know what I mean? Like you walking, for example, you could be walking down an alleyway in the middle of the night and it's really dark, and then three dudes come behind you and they start yelling at you. Do you know what I mean? And you might, I don't know, that might be a very clear signal of, you're about to be attacked or something like that. So it's like this. The stronger the response, the quicker the behavior. Do you sort of get it? So, like, if I hear, for example, I'm walking down an alley and there's three guys, and like, that's their MO is to attack people, blah, 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 blah. Do you sort of get it? As soon as that environmental stimuli triggers that, the response goes, the biochemical state goes. I get that hit of adrenaline and start running. Do you sort of get it? Like that's the whole point of sort of our biochemical system and our unconscious mind is to override our conscious logic or awareness because sometimes survival means seconds. Do you know what I mean? Survival can be, moving a second or two earlier than waiting. Do you sort of get it? So it's really important to understand this that typically our biochemical states are not going to be triggered on their own. Do you sort of get it? There will always be a linking between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind that trigger the biochemical response. But if the environmental or behavioral stimuli is already ingrained so deeply, it can trigger the biochemical response immediately. Do you sort of get it? So, like, for example, if I had previously been attacked by those three people walking down this alleyway, the moment I hear them, I'm off. Do you sort of get it? Because those seconds, I don't need to see if they're going to attack me or not. Do you sort of get it? Like it's just behavioral triggering. Like, does that make sense? But the first instant, I might hear them and I might think, I'm not in too much danger. I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, I might be more logical. I mightn't feel a fear response immediately. Do you sort of get it? So, this is conditioned responses. So, my environment or my association to my environment can trigger a response, or my behavioral conditioning can trigger a response. Do you sort of get it? If I've been attacked multiple times by this individual, my behavioral conditioning from that individual is they're going to attack me. The behavior that has been conditioned in. Behavioral conditioning is repetitive behavior that conditions new behaviors or conditions the same behavioral response. If every time I'm angry, I punch someone in the face, I'm conditioning myself to associate anger with punching people in the face. If I do that long enough, do you sort of get it? It becomes really difficult for me to separate anger causing a response of me attacking or me punching someone in the face. Do you sort of get it? So it's really important to understand this. But as we get into this lecture series on the conscious mind, we are going to start understanding next how to build the sort of psychological triggers. So, i.e., a psychological trigger is a psychological override. Do you sort of get it? Where the psychological trigger means this and where through behavioral conditioning the outcome through behavioral association or behavioral association conditioning, we're conditioning that this environment means this, or that this behavior means this, or this behavior in this environment means this. Do you sort of get it? And we're just simply using a psychological trigger to instigate the behavioral outcome or the meaning to the behavioral outcome. Does that sort of make sense? All right. So that'll finish off today's lecture, and we'll get on to it tomorrow and look at a deeper dive into actually now restructuring our psychological structures and our hierarchies of meaning and how they align and associate to our emotional states and our memory association. All right. Well, enjoy this one, and I'll see you on the next one.